Well, good morning, everybody. It's Monday, August 10th, and this is day one of our Sandals of Peace, the Shoes of Peace devotional series. I'm Pastor Matt, and today I wanted to. We talked yesterday, Sunday, about the passage of the armor of Ephesians 6:15. Your feet are shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. Um, and it got me to thinking. There was often as I'm tooling around the south side of Indianapolis, and I'm going from one appointment to the next. All of a sudden there will be a check engine, or not a check engine light, but a warning light will come on my dashboard that will say low tire pressure, and I'm having to rotate my tires and everything else, and so luckily my car has it can sense the tire pressure, and I know that I got to pull over and get my tires filled up. And so with that, I was thinking about this idea of a check engine light or a dash light that gives a warning. And I thought how often, if we understand peace being the thing that covers us and peace being the thing that Jesus has restored to us, how often in our lives do we have check engine lights? How often in our lives do we have low tire pressure lights that come on, and they come on in the form of either an emotion, or they come on in the form of some other thing that's unique to us? And how often do I ignore that, and I just keep moving through, and I just keep plowing through until, so to speak, I go and I try to start the car, start my own engine, and it doesn't work anymore. And I think that's my hope and my prayer this morning, for you in this devotional series, is that you would learn to recognize the check engine lights in your life, so that you can recognize where peace is at. And so with that, we used the language yesterday, and there's a scripture here. It's actually in Colossians 3:15, and Paul says, "And let the peace of God rule in your hearts, to which also you were called in one body, and be thankful." And this word there for rule, that word there, it's the same Greek word that the ancient Greeks used to talk about an umpire or a referee. It was they thinking about a soccer or a basketball referee that are able to stop play and blow the whistle and say, this team fouled, this team scored. And so with that, I love this language here, and let the peace of God umpire, referee in your hearts. And as we've been talking about following our peace, I'm very aware in my own journey that I have had to take years to be able to cultivate peace within my heart, and recognizing peace in my heart, recognizing the presence of God, and letting the Lord teach me that when He and I are in connection and we're in oneness, that is our home base. That is exactly where I've been designed to live from. And then what happens is as I begin to journey in my life, as I begin to do relationships and do my life and go to work and everything else, inevitably what happens is there's conflict. I bump into things that I don't even know why. I just walk into a room and suddenly I'm like, man, I have lost my peace. And over the years, what the Lord has done is He's begun to talk about, hey, I want to keep you in perfect peace. That's my inheritance to you. And so therefore, learn the check engine lights that come on, that you can recognize that you are out of peace. And when we come out of peace, what ends up happening is when we default to survival, we default to my own devices, I default to my own understanding, and I try and just get through, and I muddle my way through. And all the while, I believe what the Lord's doing is that check engine light has been given to get you to pull over and check in with the Lord and let Him show you where the low tire pressure is, so to speak. And I love this idea that as I'm walking, what happens is sometimes I'm forced in like a crossroads, or maybe 3 or 4 different options or opportunities or decisions that I have to make. And I love Paul's language here in Colossians. And let the peace of God rule, referee. Between these two things, let the peace of God referee between them, so that I will end up following my peace and not just my understanding. I'll end up following what the presence is doing because I can almost articulate it as, man, I feel a peace about this. But if we're being honest, that takes some time in a relationship to cultivate. And so I want to offer this morning this encouragement to let the peace of God rule in your hearts as He's leading you deeper and deeper. The Spirit's been given to lead you into all truth. And therefore, as we learn to follow our peace, we will learn to find ourselves in a deeper realm of truth. And we know from Scripture that the truth will set us free. And so my question, my invitation to you is, as you're walking worthy of the call, as you're walking in love as Christ has loved you, if there's any places where you're feeling chaotic, where you've lost your peace, we want to encourage you to return to the table. If there's any places where you're feeling depressed or hopeless, take that one step and return to the table. And if there's any places where you're feeling confused or overwhelmed, we encourage you that this is an opportunity and an invitation from the Lord to pull over, rediscover our peace, and from that place let hope and vision and purpose guide you. We just bless you today. Have a great week.